Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel. Thanks for the click. I hope you are doing well. Well, in this episode we are going to see a new grammar lesson, which is phrasal verb. Well, first of all, the first thing that you have to know is that when we talk about phrasal verbs, this is a new category of verbs, another category of verbs. So before we talked about modal verbs, we have verbs. Now in this episode we are going to see phrasal verbs. This is a new type, a new kind, a new category of verbs. Okay, all right. Let's start with example number one. He want to carry on his studies abroad. He want what? He want to carry on his studies abroad. So here we have a verb, carry on, and on purpose I wrote it in a different color. So this is the phrasal verb, carry on his studies abroad. So the first glance at this verb, you notice that it is composed of two components. Number one is to carry, and number two, on. Now carry is very simply a verb. This is a verb that perhaps you know. So carry means to take something from one place to another place. For example, to carry a table from this place to that place, or to carry a bag from one place to another, or to carry a box and take it to another place, for example, or a bag, you carry a bag from one place to another place. That's what we mean by the verb carry. And on is a preposition, okay? Preposition. All right. So here, all right. Now, what does carry on mean here? He want to carry on his studies abroad. Very simply, here we mean he want to. So this means he want to carry on. This means he want to continue. He want to continue his studies abroad. He want to continue his studies in another country abroad. Okay, all right. So as you can see here, we have verb. So phrasal verb, very simply a verb plus, we can say, plus a preposition. But the most important thing that you have to pay attention to here is that in this case we have a new verb. So here we have a new verb. We can say a new meaning too, okay? A new meaning, all right? So here we have a new verb, a new meaning, not the meaning of carry, which means to take something from one place to another. No, here we have a new verb, a new meaning of the verb, okay? So a phrasal verb, verb plus preposition, which gives us a new verb, a new meaning, all right? Now, this is it, but there is a question. Do you think that always when we have a verb plus a preposition is a phrasal verb? No. The answer is no. Let's see example number two. I think about studying abroad. I think about studying abroad. So here again, we have a verb plus preposition. I think about. This is verb, okay? This is verb plus about is a preposition. Okay, all right. Now here, do you think in this case we have a new verb, a new meaning of the verb think, a new meaning of this? Do you think this verb changed? No. I think about studying abroad. So here thinking. So thinking about studying abroad. So here we have verb plus preposition. So the verb is still the same, the meaning is still as it is, so the meaning of a thing did not change. Therefore, here we are concerned with verb plus preposition and not a phrasal verb. So a phrasal verb is verb plus preposition. We have a new verb, a new meaning, like here, carry on, which means to continue. Continue has nothing to do with carry. Carry is another verb, and carry on is another new verb. Okay? So this is the difference between phrasal verb like this one and verb plus preposition like this. When the verb is still as it is, the meaning does not change. Okay, all right. So actually verb plus prepositions we have a lot. We have, for example, go to, for instance, go to. I go to school, I go to supermarket, I go to maybe university. So as you can see here, the verb go did not change. The meaning is still as it is. So this is not a phrasal verb. This is just a verb plus preposition. Also, you can have something like look at, for instance, okay? Look at the board, look at that boy, look at that person, etc. So again, this verb did not change. Look is still look. So here we have look at. This is just a verb plus preposition. Also, you can have something like care for. Again, this is only a verb plus preposition and not phrasal verb, because the verb care is still care. Care for baby, care for your children, care for your pets, for example, etc., etc. So these are examples of verbs plus prepositions, not phrasal verbs. So as I said, phrasal verb is when we have a new verb. When verb plus preposition gives us a new verb, a new meaning, then we are talking about phrasal verb. Another point that you have to keep in mind as far as phrasal verbs are concerned is that we have some verbs that can take different prepositions. A lot of prepositions. And the same thing when one preposition can have different verbs. We are going to take example for that, okay? All right, take for instance the preposition app, for example. One preposition which is app goes with different verbs. So here we have different phrasal verbs. So look is not look up. Look up is when you open dictionary and you look up a word, for example, or a book, etc. And wake is not wake up, okay? So you are sleeping and you wake up, okay? Get up, for example, you get up. Turn up for the volume, you turn it up, for example. Pick up, for example, you pick up flower. We can also say to pick up language, for instance. We have also stand up. You are sitting down and you stand up. So these are phrasal verbs, okay? Now let's see the opposite. Now let's take one verb that can go with different prepositions. Let's take, for instance, the verb look. Look up, this one, for instance, look up, which means to open dictionary and search for a word. We can have also something like look for, which means to search for something. So I am searching for the red marker. Where is the red marker? So this is the red marker. So I have been looking for the marker. Look for means to search. We can also have to look forward, forward. And look forward is when you are waiting for something eagerly. For example, you are looking forward to seeing your friend, or to receiving a message, or to hearing from someone, etc. So that's what we mean by to look forward. We can also have something like look after, okay? Look after is another phrasal verb. Look after means to care for. So this is another verb, okay? All right, so these are phrasal verbs: look forward, look for, look up, and look after. So these are phrasal verbs with the base verb look. So as you can see, look, one verb can have different prepositions and gives us different phrasal verbs, different meanings, different verbs, as I said, okay? Here we have one preposition. As you can see, up, this is just an example, can go with different verbs. We can also have other preposition, for example, like out. It can be with find out, figure out, put out, etc. So as you can see, one preposition out can go with different verbs. All right, this is it. Okay, these are just two examples that you have to bear in mind. One verb can have different prepositions, and one preposition can have different verbs, as I have just explained. Okay, so this is all about today's episode, phrasal verbs. Just remember, a phrasal verb is a verb plus preposition, but when we have a new verb, a new meaning of this, okay, of this. Not like this one, in this case, just verb plus preposition, in which the verb is still as it is, the meaning did not change, okay? Another thing, one preposition, one preposition can have different verbs, and one verb can have different prepositions. Okay, see you in another episode. I hope you benefited from this episode. See you in another episode. Have a good time and goodbye. Don't forget, if you have any suggestion or question, don't hesitate to ask. In the upcoming episode, we are going to stop at each important, I would say, phrasal verb to explain it and give examples with it. See you then. Have a good time and goodbye.